Will the UK criminal justice system come to a standstill? The Criminal Bar Association is carrying out indefinite strike action, which is expected to bring the criminal justice system to a standstill. So if you're interested in this and what it's all about, stick around for the next part of the video. We're going to talk about what this means for duty solicitors, what this means for you if you are ever charged and you need to be represented in the criminal courts. And I'm also going to give you play a little video of the Criminal Bar Association, what their message is and why this is happening, as the legal aid rates are simply just not enough. And as a result, keeping or attracting new legal professionals into this area of law is becoming more difficult. Now, if you've watched my video on being arrested, you'll know that duty solicitors that are provided at the police station are free. So the Law Society has concerns that if the legal aid rates are not increased, then court-appointed advocates may not be available in the future. So if you can't get a duty solicitor to give you advice, then your other option is to hire someone. Now, this can be expensive because the court can order you pay some of the costs for going to court or all of the costs. So you have to keep this in mind, that this can be a very expensive process. But what some people are doing is representing themselves. In just a second, I am going to tell you about someone who did represent themselves in the Crown Court quite recently. But if you're on low income, then you can apply for the legal aid scheme. However, if you got a solicitor and you signed an agreement with them, while you're waiting for your legal aid certificate, you could end up owing their fees if your legal aid certificate is rejected or declined. In addition, it's important to note that if you gain money or gain a property, then you will have to pay your legal aid costs when the case is finished. If you have to repay your legal aid costs, then this is done through a statutory charge. And if you want to know what areas of law are covered under legal aid, then I've left a link below in the description area. There will also be a link to, if you want to get to a legal aid solicitor, they've got an online, you can put in your postal code and you can find out what solicitors or barristers in your area do cover legal aid. So definitely check out that link below. So when you check out those links, you'll find that if you do need a criminal representation from a solicitor or barrister that is part of the legal aid scheme, then that is means tested. And I've also left a link to a calculator so you can kind of find out if you're going to get legal aid. Because like I said, if you do get a solicitor and you're waiting for a legal aid certificate and you don't end up getting it, it's declined, then you could end up owing all of their costs, which is not a good thing. So at Legal Minded Friends, because we assist litigants in person, then we're not representing you. So what would happen is if you hired us, we are private, so you would be paying our fees in stages. We look at the criminal charges, we review your case and give you what your options are. If you're going to self-represent, this is known as a litigant in person. And in just a few seconds, I'm going to talk about somebody who did represent themselves in the Crown Court, and I will tell you all about that in a few minutes. So I bet you didn't know you could represent yourself in the Crown Court. And let me just tell you a little bit about a person who did, and he's called Alex Belfield, and you may know him as he was a former BBC radio host, and he is currently is a YouTuber. So he was arrested by the police and charged with 12 counts of stalking. And I've left a link in the description area if you want to check out his story, because the Crown Court judge allowed him to report daily on his own case. So what's really good about that is that he represented himself, and then he also reported on it daily. So you'll find it quite interesting if you watch his channel. So he has said that his legal costs before he started representing himself came to about £300,000. Oh, I just can't even imagine. Basically, he had just said enough is enough, and he decided that he would have to represent himself. Now, the CPS has put out a statement as the case has finished, and he was found guilty of 4 counts of stalking and online abuse. And in his defense, he argued, I'm just going to read it so I make sure I don't mess up, that as a journalist and broadcaster, his conduct amounted to free speech. The Crown prosecution felt differently. So the CPS, that's the Crown prosecution, they presented evidence that Alex Belfield's conduct went beyond the limits of freedom of speech, and that impacted adversely on the victim's right to a private life. I have left links to the Crown Prosecution's Service breakdown, as the CPS says the outcome was possible only because the witnesses were prepared to come forward and give evidence. Because Alex Belfield has been found guilty, his sentencing hearing will be on the 16th of September 2022. And I've also done a video on how England and Wales can now televise sentencing hearings. So I don't know if it will be televised, but who knows. The other interesting thing is right now, as we speak, Alex Jones, the owner of InfoWars, is in a civil hearing for defamation, and as he's been found guilty by default from a court. But what's interesting is that they both believe that their actions were freedom of speech. So if you want to check out that hearing, you can catch it on so many law channels. The strike actions in the UK are happening because the legal aid rates for solicitors and barristers was recommended. However, the government approved 40% less than what they were asking for. So that's quite a difference in amounts. Yeah, unbelievable. What will this mean for you if you're relying on a criminal law barrister or solicitor to assist you with your case? Well, be assured that they won't be able to just quit on you. They will have to give you and the court notice that they won't be appearing. I have spoke to the Crown Courts, and basically they are running as usual. So if you've been given a subpoena to go to court, or you have a hearing date, then you must attend. The courts have said they are going to be getting a hold of anybody if their dates have been changed. So as mentioned, if you are expected to be at court, then you should go, unless the court notifies you otherwise, because if you don't attend, then you would be breaching your bail conditions, because part of your bail conditions are to attend court. So you don't want that to happen. And also, if you are a barrister or a solicitor and you're taking part in this strike action, then it's advised that you do attend court as well, because if you fail to attend a hearing where you were due to represent a client in order to take part of the strike action, this may well be treated as professional misconduct. So I've left links below if you haven't heard about that, but I'm sure you have. So I think it's a good time to watch a clip from a professional talking about how this has affected him.
I've been doing criminal practice for 23 years, and in that time there's been very substantial change in the way in which the work is paid for, and therefore the way in which businesses are able to run. Many of us don't find the work profitable anymore and are having to leave. We're saddled with debt. We don't have the opportunity to bring in new blood. And the system was set up to have checks on how the police, the criminal justice system agencies worked to ensure that there was justice and access to justice for everyone. We're coming to a position where there won't be that check on the state's power to arrest and detain and put a person through trial who may be innocent.
Solicitors, the government's fee proposal is in fact 40% below the bare minimum recommended by the independent review. And without proper investment, the future looks bleak.
What I would say is that criminal duty solicitors offer a vital public service. Any individual detained by the police, regardless of their background, has a right to a solicitor and free legal advice. And this is the case at any time of the day or night. And if there are not enough duty solicitors, and we've seen instances where in some parts of the country, fewer than 7 duty solicitors, that's less than days of the week. And I've already spoken about 4% aged under 35, a quarter aged 50 or over. The situation that we're in is in a crisis, and if we don't wish to see the halt of solicitors leaving this area of practice, and to prevent this trend and the ongoing erosion of our criminal justice system, investment is needed, proper funding, proper remuneration is required.
So if you find yourself in a pickle, which I've also done a video for, then contact legal-minded friends if you need legal help, and check out our website. Check out all our links on how to contact us below. Please like this video, share this video, as you never know who you can help.